We're going to kick off the night. We got this just a few minutes before Joe Bledsoe and all of Flames Creative let us play this hype video, and it is incredible to get you guys ready for the season. And as soon as the video's over, we'll have head coach Ritchie McKay.
Everybody wants the mountaintop, not the climb. They want what history looks like, but not what it takes to get there.
And it's up to the races for Cuffy. Here's Baxter Bell for three. Exclamation point. And it's over. And Liberty wins its third straight ASOR title. The Liberty Flames reign atop the ASOR continues.
The work, the grind, what you do every day is more important than what you do every once in a while.
Nice job. One more, here we go.
Culture isn't something you inherit. You have to build it. Standing on the shoulders of those who came before us, who laid the bricks, built the foundation. Our history has led us to our present, a program familiar with success, but built on love. Playing out of gratitude for our brothers beside us. We've been chasing our standard. We've been building for this moment. To embrace what it takes to make it to our mountaintop. Becoming the best version of us.
Open beyond the arc. There is no stopping Darius McKay.
Robinson goes up, ducks it with the right hand.
Wow, man, everyone at Flames Creative, they do some great work. Head coach Ritchie McKay taking some time to join us less than 24 hours to the start of the season. How you doing?
I'm a lot better after that video, fellas. Man, that was high major. That's Liberty's creative team. Those guys and gals are absolutely sensational. They're elite. We're really blessed to have them. Joe Bledsoe did that. Jacob Webb. There's so many that are so skilled in that department. It just brands our program nationally. And I'm not just talking about men's basketball. I'm talking about Liberty Athletics and our sports team. So shout out to those guys. They really bring things alive.
Yeah, absolutely. So what is life like for a coach less than 24 hours before the start of the season? You've spent all summer, trying to get your team ready and prepared. What is this like feeling here? Is it like nerves? Is it what is it at this point?
Honestly, Nick, I'm just trying to distract myself right now. I watched from kickoff to finish the football team go into Arkansas and get that dub, and then I watch Nikki's field hockey team win the Big East championship, and now I'm watching Malik Willis and the Tennessee Titans. So anything I can do to distract myself, watched a little bit of Regent, and really excited to get it started tomorrow.
Coach, I'm glad you brought up football because I'm still like in football mode a little bit. And that hype video just got me transitioned to basketball season really quickly. But watching the success of the football program and like just all the programs at Liberty, what does that do for your program? Like, do you feel like this pressure to like keep building Liberty up to the next level, or, how do you see all of that having an impact on the basketball program?
Yeah, well, honestly, it is really exciting to be a part of. And I know we as fans want us to win every game. We coaches want to win every game too. But the success that our different teams have had it's really been unprecedented. Ian McCall, our athletic director, who arguably is the best in the country, he says that we're in our golden years of Liberty athletics. I really believe that's true. So I think field hockey going to a national championship, Dot and Scott qualifying both of their teams for the NCAA tournament. Coach Green's got, I think, like 18 different conference championship banners in there. Like, you almost feel the pressure as a coaching staff. Like, we gotta live up to what everybody else is doing, because otherwise we might not be invited to the picnic or the barbecue. But I do think it, especially football, because it's so visible, I do think it really helps brand our program. And I think it gives a positivity to Liberty University that we all know and appreciate. I think for those that hear other things about Liberty and haven't experienced it, I just think a successful program or programs lends an opportunity for people to maybe come taste and see what we get to experience.
Well, yeah, don't sell yourself too short. I believe you've beat 5 SEC schools since you've come back. So welcome to the SEC football winning club, Liberty Football. But yeah, what a great time to be a Liberty fan. Coach, gonna ask you my one nerd question. This is all I'll do, I promise. So last year you won 22 games, another great year. Elite shooting numbers through the roof. It seemed like maybe the one thing that held the team back last year was the turnover rate was significantly down from some of the best seasons that you've had. Do you feel like that's fair? And is that something that was maybe a big point of emphasis this offseason?
So, Nick, that's not a nerd question. And I know how closely you follow it. As a matter of fact, you guys, thank you for just doing this. I think it marks how far our program has come, because, I mean, you guys talk about Liberty basketball on a regular basis. Your critique is absolutely correct. You know, when Drake Dobbs decided to transfer, we really had to adjust, and it was on the fly, because after the LSU game, we turned it over so much that game. And then we went right from there to Orlando and turned it over against Manhattan the second night of a 2-game series. And that sent us going the wrong direction. So we moved Darius to a little bit more of a primary playmaker, and Kyle Rode had to play out of position. And we were off just by about a half a position. Now, our guys, because of their character, they reeled it in, Nick, but I do think the turnover rate was a little bit abnormal for us, and certainly it's been a point of emphasis. We've also addressed it in recruiting, and I think just having a team that's a little older, I think will be a little improved in that area.
Yeah, you guys had a big leap from 2018 to 2019. I noticed in turnover rate. Is that and pretty much the same personnel? It looked like. Is that just what you're talking about with the experience?
Yeah, I think our system lends for taking care of the basketball. It's part of our emphasis. But again, I do think Darius being a primary playmaker and point guard, it was really hard on him. He ran out of gas a little bit. I probably played him a little too much, but that was our best option. And, you know, when you and Darius is willing to do whatever it takes for the team to win the game. So I think we'll be improved. I kind of stay away from comparing teams to yesteryears, although I love seeing that video and all those guys. PJ Preston narrated it. All those guys that have gone before the guys we have now. They have Ryan Kimwright, Anthony Fields, there's John Dawson, Anthony Smith, those others that really didn't get a chance to cut nets and experience what these guys have, but we're so grateful and appreciative for what they've done for our program.
Coach, when I was a kid, I wanted to grow up and be Hulk Hogan and like rip my shirt off and flex my muscles. And I don't do all that stuff, but it's pretty cool now because, you know, my 10-year-old will go outside and play basketball and he's like, I'm Scotty James or I'm Darius McGee. And it's like pretty cool to like see him emulating these guys. And like these guys are like his like sports icons and sports heroes. Can you talk about a little bit like, you know, what you're looking for when you're recruiting some of these guys? I mean, they make great role models. And also, you know, like when you're looking to build a coaching staff, like, is that something that you're looking at as former players or or does it just happen to be that they fit what you're looking for?
Yeah, great questions, Willie. I love the fact that your 10-year-old out in the driveway. Now, are you shirt on or shirt off? Like you said, Hulk Hogan. Don't answer that. But those are great guys to emulate. Honestly, I think it's the best thing about Liberty, the people. And if you're intentional about it, I think our place attracts a really conscientious young man that wants to be a part of something bigger than themselves. And we've seen that reflected in our program and the people that God has brought to us. So yes, we're intentional about it. We vet our prospects really hard. They don't have to be perfect because none of us live in that space. But I do want them to be pursuant of we tell them up front what our university is about, its mission, what it's like to come to a practice or be a part of a film room session, what have you. And then there's convocation and there's campus community, there's Bible studies. Like we peel back the layer and show them everything. Because honestly, if someone doesn't want that, we get it, and we kind of end that process. So it filters maybe some guys that weren't the right fit for our place in such a way that I think what we end up having is really a family. And the guys that you mentioned certainly reflect that. And I think it's true in our coaching staff. When I worked for Tony Bennett, Dick Bennett, his dad was a mentor of mine. And they had these pillars that they really held true to, not only as foundational parts of their program, but an intentionality to model them. And so we've done some of that same stuff. So I want people around me that I want to work with, that I want to see every day, that have the humility, the character, and the commitment to really invest in someone else's life. And I think those men that I've been fortunate enough, men and women, to work with, man, the neatest thing, Nick and Will, is that they really hold true to honoring whom we've been given to steward or shepherd in this next chapter of their stories.
All right. You obviously have a very experienced team coming back. One of the most impressive things I've thought about Liberty the last couple of years is how well you've done retaining players, which is incredibly hard in today's college basketball. But tell us about the freshmen coming in, and I know you're not going to want to put expectations on anyone, but what are you kind of looking for early in the season?
Nick, you've heard me speak too much because you're already answering the questions. Yeah, let me talk for 1 second about the retention piece. Like, that's Liberty. Like, just again, I want you to the magnitude of Darius McGee coming back to Liberty when he could have gone to play professionally. He could have gotten oodles of money in the NIL space with different teams and programs around the country. And instead, he came back to Liberty. He didn't ask for a thing. And I think it speaks to the character of his teammates and his experience. And I think the guys that we have that are freshmen, J.C. Schreier that came in from Texas, who's going to redshirt. I'll give you this news now. Ben Sutherland is going to redshirt. He's from Cincinnati. He's gonna be a terrific player. Really love him. And then the two freshmen that will play, Colin Porter and Zach Cleveland, both were guys that we worked really hard to get. But I think you're going to be surprised at how ready they are to play, because although we thought they would be good when we evaluated them, when you have so many guys coming back, there's not Keegan McDowell really is the only guy that played significant minutes who we lost. And there's just not a lot of minutes to be had. But, man, those two, they're going to be factors in the lineup. Really, they really add some value to our team immediately.
Coach, I was in the grocery store yesterday, and I was picking up one of those magazines that's got all the preseason conference rankings and stuff. And, just thinking about us doing this podcast, do you even think about stuff like that? Do you pick those magazines up when you go to Walmart or Target or whatever like that? Or is it just kind of just too soon? And, you've got some new guys coming in that are going to contribute, and you've got, a lot of returning key pieces, or do you just don't even pay attention to that stuff?
No, I'm a college basketball fan, Will, so I'll pick them up. And invariably, over the last couple of years, we've been favored to win it, which is great and all that, but it doesn't mean anything. If anything, it just puts more expectation on you. But I certainly do take a look at it, and oftentimes I'll kind of look at some of our conference or non-conference opponents and see what they're saying about them as well.
Well, Coach, it has been an absolute honor for you to come on right day before tip and give us breaking news. How about that? Breaking news on the show. What a precedent to start the season. It's gonna be hard to live up to this now from here on out. So
yeah, no, I mean it sincerely. You guys do a wonderful job. Nick, somebody told me you talked about, if I can go one more minute, somebody told me you talked about scheduling, and I'm just going to give Flames Nation just a forecast. When Derek Johnston, one of our associate head coaches, and I spend a ton of time on scheduling. And when your program reaches a point, when I first got here, we could have scheduled anybody we wanted. Like they were all signing up, and then we had a little bit of success, and then we won in the tournament. And if you look at the chronological order of our non-conference scheduling, man, it's gone down in terms of high major opportunities. And it's going to happen in football too. The moment you start winning those games, no one's going to sign you up to pay you a certain amount of money to come and possibly beat them in their own stadium. So I do think enjoy the games that you get at home, because if fans knew just how hard it was to get a game, they would be surprised. And again, I know you spoke to that, and the way the metrics are now in the NCAA tournament selection process, it seemingly has gotten harder and harder. But we're going to do our part to continue to give it a go at a great competitive schedule to prepare us for our league. But try not to get disenchanted. It's a privilege to be able to come into the arena and see a group of guys that really want to represent the university in a special way. So hopefully you'll come out and support them.
Yeah, absolutely. And as soon as you said that in the press conference about the teams manipulating the quad fours, it doesn't matter if it's a high quad four or a low quad four. I heard it on like 3 different podcasts and I saw it. So I think you're ahead of the curve on that. So I do think that is maybe something. Hopefully, I love the net. It's much better than like the RPI. Hopefully that is something that they'll continue to adjust and, find the weaknesses. But all right.
You guys, thanks.